story. It's called The Rooster That Wouldn't Crow. What is crowing? A rooster crows. Huh? What does the rooster do when he crows? Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's right. Okay. This is about a rooster that would not crow. It was the dry...
He can't crow.
Huh?
He can't crow.
Well, we'll find out. It was the driest summer on record. All of the crops were wilting away. You know what wilting away means? Drying up. Okay? When a plant dries up, it gets all shrivelly. The crops were wilting away. Every farmer in the region was reeling about their losses. They were complaining. Desperate to change his fortunes, Peter Hardpole decided to try his luck at poultry farming. So he wanted to raise poultry. You know what poultry is? Farm animals like roosters and ducks and turkeys. That's poultry. Peter didn't know that much about chickens, but selling eggs would be a great way for food and hopefully money for him and his family. If he was successful at it. As the sun got closer to rising over the Hardpole farm, Toby, the Hardpole's new rooster, took his place at the top of a wooden fence next to the barn. What's the difference between a rooster and a chicken? Huh? You know what the difference between a rooster and a chicken is? What? Oh, a rooster's the boy chicken.
And a girl.
And just a regular chicken
The girl.
is a girl. That's right. Okay. Well, he got up on the top of the wooden fence by the barn. It was Toby's the rooster's first chance to show how he could crow. He'd purchased Toby the night before from McHenry's farm down the road. The McHenrys, or the Hardpoles, were desperate for a good crower. So they really wanted somebody who could really cock-a-doodle-doo, right? Okay. Because of the rooster on their farm had laryngitis. The other rooster on their farm had laryngitis. With the purchase of Toby, the Hardpoles now had a total of 2 roosters and 12 hens. So they had 2 boy roosters and 12 girl hens, chickens. When the sun broke across the horizon, so when the sun came up, it triggered Toby's internal clock. That made Toby want to crow, didn't it? He clenched his spurs and on his feet against the wood, and then proceeded to belt out the loudest moo you ever heard. Yeah, the rooster wasn't saying cock-a-doodle-doo. He was saying moo. Again, Toby proceeded, moo, moo, moo. Toby's mooing shocked everybody. They were surprised, especially since the Hardpoles didn't own a cow. Ma, did you hear that? Peter asked his wife. Are you talking about the biscuits in your stomach or our new cow you forgot to tell me about? He says, I didn't buy a cow. Peter got up from the table and proceeded to walk. Peter is the farmer. He got up from the table and walked to the front door of his home. His 2 daughters, Annie and Ellie, followed him. It's probably just some old cow that got loose from the McHenry's farm, Peter shouted from behind the screen door. As Peter and his daughters approached the barn, Toby the rooster was still sitting on top of the wooden fence. Hello, Toby, where's the cow at? Peter asked. Toby didn't say anything. Isn't that weird? The rooster's mooing. Toby, Where did that mooing come from? Asked Peter. Toby started to shake because he still had some glue left in it. He tried to keep it inside, but his body started to twitch. You know what twitching is? Like that? Okay. His body started to twitch as if he were holding his breath for over 2 minutes. His shaking became uncomfortable. Unable to hold it in any longer, Toby let out the loudest moo ever heard in Bradford County. Annie and Ellie jumped up and down with excitement. "Daddy, we have a cow now," said Annie. "Yeah, listen to him moo, Daddy," said Ellie. Both of the girls laughed hysterically. So the girls were laughing at the rooster because he was mooing. Okay? "But Daddy, I want to play with him." Oops, I skipped on. "We don't have a cow," said Daddy. "We have got a rooster with a weird sense of humor. Girls, go inside with your mother. I want to talk to Toby alone, please." "But Daddy, I want to play with him," said Ellie. "You heard me. Get along now." As the girls walked away, disappointed, Peter looked at Toby over and shook his head. "Well, let's take it from the top," said Peter. "What's with the mooing, Toby?" "Mr. Harpool, you seem really nice, and I hope you have some patience with what I am about to share with you." "All right, I'm listening," said Peter. "I'll explain the mooing in a minute, but first there is something I have to tell you. Last night, I was taken from my home, and nobody even asked me if I was okay with it. I had a life at McHenry's farm and was very happy there." So the rooster's unhappy because he liked where he used to live. Toby, this is your home now. I paid for you," McHenry said. "He had every right to sell you if he wanted. But I already care about somebody else, and I miss her terribly. Toby, you're going to have to get used to living here. This is your home now. Forget that hen over at Harry's farm and move on with your life." "She isn't a hen," Toby said. "So Toby's not in love with another chicken. What do you think he's in love with?" "What's the boy rooster in love with?"
A girl rooster.
Girl rooster.
A girl. A rooster.
But Toby's mooing.
A cow.
"Yeah, maybe a cow." "What do you mean?" Peter asked with a puzzled look. Toby broke out in tears. "My Edna! Oh, how I miss my dear Edna." All right, take it easy. Edna's very important to you. I get it. That's nice. I'm curious though, Toby, if Edna isn't a hen, what is she?"
A cow.
"She's a cow, Mr. Harple. Edna is a big, beautiful cow." "You're joking, right?" Peter said. "No, sir, I'm not. That's why I've been mooing. I told Edna before I was taken away that I would moo as loud as I could for her. I want her to hear me so she knows I am thinking about her. Isn't that funny?" "Toby, the first question I have for you is, how did you fall in love with a cow? You're a rooster, for crying out loud." "Who said love was easy, Mr. Harpool?" Why, I'll give you that. But Toby, Mr. McHenry doesn't have other roosters to sell. I asked him about that last night. He's one of the few farmers close by that even have chickens. Farmers in this region aren't looking to sell their roosters right now." "I realize that. Is it really that big a deal?" asked Toby. "When it comes from a rooster, yes, Toby, it is. Let's say words get out around the town. My rooster moos instead of crows. the local grocers would probably quit buying from me. So he thinks because, John, now listen. So he thinks because that his rooster crows that nobody will buy his eggs. Isn't that funny?
And the last page.
Almost. Well, first you've got to understand, Mr. Harpool, just trying to make an honest living to support his family, said the hen. What's so wrong with our place anyway? I think you would really like it here if you gave it a chance. Let me stop you right there. I completely understand and appreciate Mr. Harpool's situation. I really do. But what kind of life are we living for ourselves if we just settle for whatever makes everyone else happy? This is a great farm, and everyone here has been so wonderful. This isn't about where I live. I'm talking about how I live. I'm talking about being with the one I care about. Please don't take this personally. It's a little hard not to. This is absolutely not true. Haven't you ever been in love? Yes, Toby, but it isn't with a frog, a goat, or a tiger. His name was Charlie, and he was, believe it or not, a rooster. Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by that. I know that this is tough, but you figure everything out. My name is Paula, Toby. If you need to talk, just come over to the coop and peck 3 times. So now, Toby's talking to a girl chicken. And she was in love with who?
The cow.
Charlie.
Another cow.
Nope, it was another rooster. So Toby started talking to this girl chicken.
What do you know with the cow or the rooster?
She was in love with another rooster.
About a cow.
Okay. Toby, what are you doing? Do not listen to anything I said yesterday. I did, Mr. Harpool, but I've got to do what I believe in. Peter shook his head and went back into the house to get his keys to his truck. Where are you going so early, Mr. Harpool? Asked Mr. Harpool. I'm going to town to hopefully find a buyer for this crazy rooster. Daddy, please don't sell Toby. We love him, pleaded Annie. I don't have any choice, Annie. We've got to make a living. Peter stormed out of the house and sped off in his truck. Mommy, please don't let Daddy sell Toby. Please, Mommy, cried out Allie. The next month was not the best of times for the Harpool farm. Peter had failed to find a buyer for Toby because word had already spread about his mooing rooster. Every morning, Toby mooed with all his might, as loud as he could. People were starting to flock to Harpool farm like seagulls to see Toby move his heart out. When Toby's unusual behavior was mentioned in the local newspaper, Peter had all he could stand and decided he would have to find a buyer for Toby out of the region. He didn't care if it meant driving 3 states away. Peter wanted to be done with this troublesome bird once and for all. One evening during supper, Peter mentioned his intentions to sell Toby out of state. It didn't sit well with his daughters, so his daughters weren't happy because he wanted to sell the rooster far away. Annie, we've already talked about this. We can no longer have this rooster causing so much disruption in our lives. He doesn't cause me disruptions, Daddy, cried Ellie. Peter looked at his daughters' faces and it tore him up inside. So their daddy was upset that they were upset. He got up from the table and walked outside to take a walk. As Ellie was being consoled by her mother, Annie became excited and blurted out, I have an idea, Mommy. I have an idea. How we can save Toby? Well, what is it? Said Mrs. Harpool. Toby wants to be with Edna more than anything, right? Yes, I'm listening. Well, why can't Toby and Edna be together at the petting zoo in Belvoir? Mrs. Harpool was sold on Annie's idea the moment she suggested it, and was anxious to share it with Peter upon his return. Mrs. Harpool believed in her heart. There's a missing page. Most of the money, see here. And it was after a long down talk with both Peter and Mrs. McHenry, the Belvoir Zoo agreed to take Toby and Edna as pets. The money generated to see this unusual couple would go to the petting zoo. So the zoo bought the cow and Toby.
What is that?
These are pictures. Huh? The cow and the rooster. Yeah. Okay. I want you to look at these pictures, and I want you to tell me about the story just read. You can put the pictures in order of what you think happened. This one says, Farmer Harpool decided to start selling eggs. Toby let out the loudest moo ever heard. Toby told Farmer Harpool that he loved Edna. Toby and Edna lived happily ever after at the petting zoo. Which one's first? What happened first in the beginning of the story?
Toby told Farmer Harpool that he loved Edna.
So which one's first though? That one? Because why is this one first? Tell me what happened
With
there.
eggs.
He decided to sell eggs, didn't he? And then what happened next after he decided to sell eggs? What happened next?
Wait. Toby?
After he decided to sell eggs, what did the farmer do? He decided to sell eggs, but did he have any chickens? So what did he do? No, he didn't have no chickens. So what did he do? Okay. He went and bought some chickens, didn't he?
Is it right?
It says, and when he got this chicken, what did he do? What did the chicken do? He mooed. And then what happened?
And Toby told Farmer Harper that he loved the cow.
He told the farmer that he was in love with the cow.
Then Toby and
They both went to the petting zoo so they could be together, right? Good job. Correct order.